Hi, my name is Brian Zapata, and the article is Trump Trade, Investment, and Other Threats. At the Beijing of March at prestigious international consulting firm summarized an analysis in this paragraph. The automotive industry has been one of the best performing sectors in recent years. Since the beginning of the current decade, vehicle production has soared as original equipment manufacturers. BMW, Ford, General Motors, Mercedes, Nissan, Toyota, and Volkswagen, among others, have made large investments in the country. However, since more than half of national production is exported, the continuation of the success story depends of the sector continue to receive high levels of investment in an extremely competitive global market. Possible shift towards great protectionism in the United States is a huge risk since this market absorbs a substantial portion of the automotive industry exports. Which country is the text referring to after such a summary? One could easily answer Mexico. This is not the case. It refers to South Africa. It shows that the consequence of the protectionist drift of and of various other actions of Donald Trump's government do not recognize borders in turn tools that affect trade constitute only one of the many threats that the US administration poses both to its neighbors and to nations located on the other side of the world. The German Chancellor Meidenbauch, um, one might say, with some listens to Trump's Washington in my March was deleted by the bad weather that in one way or another has persisted in the city since January 20, 20 months ago. Angela Market offered the response that is remembered as the most precise and categorical to the impertinence of the then president elect. She reiterated it on the eve of her visit when she declared, "I don't have to worry about tweets, but about political suites," and reaffirmed her willingness to work with the new leader based on recognized and shared democratic values. The problems to be discussed by both are not new. Russian beliefs, terrorism, instability in the Middle East, growing rejection of immigration. But Merkel did not seem intimidated by the enormous load of testosterone that Trump adds to them. She is used to dealing with big male egos from Helmut Kohl, the former German chancellor, to Mr. Putin and Mr. Erdogan, the Turkish president. The list of aces shows that is not only trade and investment matter that need to be discussed with Trump, but the whole range of global issues and especially the political ones that affect international peace and security, not at risk due to the ignorant audience and irresponsibility with which he handles himself on the international stage. Example about a clumsy attempt to turn the One China principle into a bilateral bargain chip, the willingness to throw overboard the agreement on Iran's nuclear program with the G5 and Germany, which constitutes the great achievement of multilateral diplomatic in several decades, or the reckless insinuation that favor the proliferation of atomic weapons in Central and Eastern Europe and in the Far East, to mention just examples. The problems of argument between the two are not new, but Merkel did not seem intimidated by the enormous testosterone load that Trump adds to them. On the other hand, as the new development course group has pointed out, the triumph phenomenon in this cause manifestations and scope is not exclusive to the United States. Many of the feeling and motivation that explain the vote for the British exit from the European Union are also found among Republican voters, especially and exclusive nationalities and the extreme exaltation of national objectives as preferential and superior to those of any other country, but tropical of historical periods that were thought to be overcome. This type of xenophobic attitude not stem from clear racist traits is emerging in various latitudes. After these introductory remarks, is the appropriate to get down to business with an international topic. A term in book to design is that have an impact both in the external, international, or domestic. Separate tax reform, especially the modification of the corporate income tax key to Trump's strategy to accelerate to double his size the growth rate of the US economy to bring back to the United States the jobs lost in favor of the countries with which it runs trade deficits and to regain the global prominence lost long ago. Trump's economic expansion policy rests on two pillars that are difficult to sustain simultaneously. We grew generating financial and monetary tension, huge tax cuts for the Hague's incoming ener- energies to induce them to invest in and the equality huge increase in spending on construction, renovation, and maintenance of infrastructure for transportation, energy, industry, and communications. In addition, of course, to the exclusive increase in defense spending contained in the draft book for fiscal years 2018, both could stimulate growth and to some extent employment, both could, especially if handler Huxley trigger inflationary pressures that exceeds the 2% target set by the monetary authority, which until Trump decides otherwise is the Federal Reserve Board, which acts with an autonomy and independence and was the target to many rhetorical chores from the candidate and his advisors, some of whom are now in the cabinet. Trump economic expansion policy is based on two pillars that are difficult to sustain simultaneously without generating financial and monetary tensions. 2 weeks ago, the FRB, Federal Reserve Board, rushed to the third mini hike in a decade and the first in the Trump era of the federal funds rate range because as Chair Janet noted earlier, the economy is growing at a pace very close to potential conditions comparative to full employment exist and training it to boost activity to quickly close result in understated inflationary plus the increase in that range by 25 basis points from out point 75 to 1% was interpreted as a contrary signal to more increase are as are spent this year, but their amount in timing will depend of the evaluation of activity, employment prospects, and price expectations. In other words, they will depend of the specific content of the policies that the Trump administration decides to implement, and at least to some extent on the way in which it does so. The contours of the fundamental tax reform that Trump and with Wall Street Finance Minister managed to have promised to propose remain unclear for now. The contours of the fundamental tax reform that Trump and his finance minister translated from Wall Street will proposed as promised are not clear in the uncertainty. The divide has focused on the most damning of its possible components, the border tax adjustment. This would be a king of tax on the trade deficit, draw the attest on importance and subsidy on sales abroad of companies is clear violation of the critical of the World Trade Organization. It should be said in parentheses that an economy decide of the in the United States which grow at the comparatively appreciably speed and creates enough jobs to keep the employment rate under control in a global environment of low growth and high employment constitutes an inherited that many leaders in waiting, such as Macron in France or Corbyn in the United Kingdom, will not is only desire, but where will die to receive with the screamings and inaccurate disqualification that Trump has underrated or twinned recorded the one that fell to him. Trump and his secretaries is chair of the Treasury and the Department of Commerce, as well in Republican legislators are convinced that the current tax system represents a penalty for exporting companies and subsidy for importing ones. At the is this essential as the draft report reform indicates to impose a border adjustment and expand sales abroad and sex imports in a renewed that it says for corporations. Lo que trata el artículo básicamente es de cómo está afectando y qué cambios se piensan hacer en el mandato de Trump mediante las grandes industrias de la producción de automóviles de grandes marcas como lo que es BMW, Mercedes, Ford, donde las cuales mucha gente piensa que la producción de estos vehículos es en México, pero realmente es en Sudáfrica. Y en medio de las negociaciones y los pactos está socializando e informando también con la embajada de Alemania, lo cual es una chica que no se deja intimidar por él y está muy al pendiente de todo sin dejarse llevar por las palabras de él, sabiendo que es un hombre muy convincente por ese lado.